Good evening, folks. Welcome back to the channel. It's great to see you. It always is. I hope you're doing well. We've got some quarterfinals to go through today over in Toronto, which shouldn't take that much of your time. Be sure to get your predictions in the comments as we go. Anything that I'm going for personally will always be in that pinned comment. Feel free to go and check that out if you want. And before we get started, I'm going to ask you to like the video if you'd be so kind. Get yourself subscribe to the channel if you're not already. It would be an honour to welcome you to the squad. We do continue to grow each and every day, so get yourself involved. And we'll waste no more time with it. First things first, how did we get on yesterday? I can't remember if we spoke about this or not in yesterday's video, but I think we did, about the lane at TN. And yeah, Popyrin and Rune ended up hitting with the over. Zverev and Cerundolo ended up getting it back for that. So, one win, one loss, and a push. I'll have that. I'll most certainly be taking that. It could have been a hell of a lot worse. I am just about to start watching Flavio Caboli and Ben Shelton. That starts in about 15-20 minutes. So, fingers crossed. Wish me the best of luck on that one. But be sure to let me know. Did you win? Did you lose? And did you just come close? And now all that is said and done, we'll get straight to business, folks. Let's get it on. Okay then, so first off, we're going to have Zverev and Alexei Popyrin. I can't wait for this one. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good one. Zverev, the rightful favourite. I expected nothing less. I imagine you would all agree with that. 1.3 is the price you're going to have to pay for the German today. He's quite heavily favoured indeed. They've played each other 3 times. In the past, head-to-head is 3-0 to Zverev. The most recent one being in the Olympics last year on the clay, and then you're going back to 2019 and 2018 when they played each other on the hard courts, one indoor, one outdoor. Zverev winning all 3 matches in straight sets. Now you'd look at that and say, this probably picks itself, and I do kind of think Zverev probably should be winning this one, but I do also think Alexei Popyrin just may have something to say about that. He's been really good this week, has he not? He's been really good, and we've been saying it all season. We've been talking about how good he was when he came over here last season, and it shouldn't really come as a surprise that he's managed to pick up a bit of steam. Now we're back over in Canada, but the way his seasons went as a whole, I didn't really see it coming. I really didn't. He looked decent enough in the first round against the young Canadian, tie break in the first, 6-3, solid. It was just solid. There weren't many times, if any time in that he didn't look in control of it. Although it was close, decent performance from the youngster, I'll give him that. Dropping that first set to Medvedev, then having to fight your way back 6-4, 6-4. Very impressed indeed. And then it was kind of more of the same against Holger Rune. He dropped that first set 6-4, and then he came back and he quite frankly dominated Holger Rune after dropping that first set 6-2, and then 6-3 were the sets that he won in the second and third. Happy days. Very strong, very strong. He's got a lot of fight in him this week. Alexei Popyrin, I've been enjoying watching him, most definitely. Alexander Zverev, he's just been cruising along, operating at more or less the same level as what he does throughout the majority of the season. You'd expect him to win the majority of his matches, and that's exactly what he's been doing. Adam Walton, straight sets, close game, very close game, identical result to the Popyrin one, tie break in the first and 6-3, both in the first matches. And then Matteo Arnaldi took that first set off him, and then Zverev come back 6-3, 6-2. Decent performance indeed. I had a feeling he'd always win that one. And then the match last night against Francisco Cerundolo. I feel like Cerundolo was doing bits against Zverev yesterday until he got injured. He looked good. He looked like he was managing with him very, very well. Took the serve off him as well and then gave it back. And then it just kind of unravelled, didn't it? He was injured. I mean, what you'd expect. Kind of unlucky for the Argentine there. We do wish him a speedy recovery. Would have been very, very nice to see how that one would have transpired, given they were both fully fit. But I suppose we'll never know. But I was liking what I was seeing from Cerundolo. Zverev, we didn't really predict. It was obvious that the first serve was going to be was going to be the one for him. The first serve for Zverev's been money this week. Same could be said for Popyrin though, I suppose. I've said that about him. The serve's been fantastic. He stood behind that really well. He's just dogging people out. Dogging people out with that forehand as well. He's been so strong. I've been impressed. And we're getting Alexei Popyrin around the same price as what we've got him in the previous two games, around 3.5, depending, give or take. It's a little bit higher, a little bit lower, depending where you look. I do feel like Zverev wins it. I do feel like Zverev probably should be winning it, but the way Popyrin's playing, man, I might just go back to the well. He cashed that over for me against Holger Rune. I might just go back. I'm just going to go back to it. I think the over 22.5 on this one looks alright. I had it in Zverev and Cerundolo as well, and well, to say that may have come in, it may not have come in, but that's neither here nor there. I'd like to think Popyrin can keep this one close, although Zverev probably more than likely will be quite the step up this week for him compared to Medvedev and Holger Rune. He was getting beat by them. And if you were looking at that in play after him dropping them first sets both times, you probably would have went, yeah, it's a long way back. It's a long way back for the Australian in these ones, but here he stands. I think he stands more than enough of a chance to have a go at Zverev. You can both just stand behind the serve. I feel like we could be in for a long one. I'm expecting Zverev to just edge this one out. I wish Cerundolo, I wish he hadn't retired. I wish he hadn't got injured. Obviously, you have to retire. That's the right thing to do. I always say, if you can't play, you can't play. Don't be fucking making it worse for yourself. But he very well could have just beaten Zverev yesterday. If he'd have taken that first set, I think Zverev, all the previous matches may have just come flooding back. All the losses. I don't know. It would have been nice to have got it, but we didn't, unfortunately. So I'm going to go with the over in this one. Like I say, I'd be so shocked. I'd be very happy for him, but I would be shocked if Popyrin was just going to play the way he's played all season, then all of a sudden, almost overnight, we come over to Canada and he's going to pull off back-to-back upsets against Medvedev and Holger Rune, and then he just turns up and takes out Zverev. That would be quite something, would it not? I'd love to see it. Can't see it happening. I just think Zverev might be just a little bit too strong for him today. Just a little bit. But we'll see how it goes. We'll assess the situation come the semi-finals. We'll see who stands. But I'll be going with the over in that one, folks. Just a slight lean towards the over. As a matter of fact, it's probably the one I fancy the most out of that today. So you do with it what you will. Let me know what you fancy. Okay, then let's wrap this shit up with the last one. Got Alex Michelsen and Khachanov. Who's it gonna be? Both of these matches are great today, by the way. I think both of them are very, very interesting. They could very well just go either way. Getting Khachanov around 1.45, 1.5, roundabout. Call it 2.8 for the American in this one. The head-to-head is 1-0 to Alex Michelsen. We should remember this one. Australian Open earlier on this season. Just dog walked him 6-3, tiebreak 6-2, straight set for the American. I was very, very surprised in that one. I remember watching it, I seen it with my own eyes, and I know what I saw. Pure domination. Alex Michelsen looked fucking great in that one. Khachanov, not so much. And you know what? The odds were pretty much identical back then to what they are now. In fact, you're getting Khachanov as a slightly bigger favourite coming into this one today. And I can't help but feel like there's a different vibe around this match today than what it was. I really do. I think Alex Michelsen's been good. The results on paper have been really decent. Barrier's fair, it is what it is. Don't take much away from that one. The game against Musetti, he easily could have just lost that one. I think he easily could have lost that one, and it may have been Siena, I don't know, but Musetti, I feel like he could have won that game most definitely, to say the least. And then the game against Leonard Tien, I thought Leonard Tien looked like a fucking, I don't know, what was he doing? Like, what was that? The amount of errors, the amount of times he put that ball into the net, I don't know. If I'd have known Leonard Sien was going to turn up with fucking ping pong paddles, I just wouldn't have bothered going anywhere near him. But he made Alex Michelsen look fantastic. He made him look like Federer out there on that court. So I fear that result may be just a little bit deceiving. I'm not too sure. So a win's a win, but I weren't that impressed. When your opponent, when he plays that bad, there's not that much that you can take from it. Alex Michelsen didn't really have to play that good in order to beat Leonard Sien the other day. So I would have to assume you're going to have a tougher time against Khachanov, more so this version of Karen Khachanov. We ain't quite seen him play this good, well, all season until he started to play this good. We've mentioned it the past couple of times that we've spoke about him. He started off the season quite poor for my expectations anyway. For what I expected, Karen Khachanov hard court season didn't quite go as planned, to say the least. I think Clay was just a bit hit and miss, 2-1s, 1-1s, 2-1s. It is what it is. We come onto the grass and he most definitely found what he was looking for, and he most definitely seems to be riding off the back of the grass form, taking the momentum and bringing it back over onto the hard court. He looked decent against Fikovic. I don't really take much from that one as well, if I'm being honest with you. No offence. And then he had to say he had to pull off the comeback against Emilio Nava sounds a bit strange, but he did. It's a fact. He did. Nava done him in a tiebreak in the first, and then 6-4, 6-1 for Karen Khachanov in the second and third. And then probably the most impressive one of the week so far against Casper Ruud. Casper Ruud stood no chance, did he? In hindsight, looking at that, watching that match, I was like, oh shit, Khachanov looks 10 times better than you. Serve's too good. Service game was just too good for him. He's been solid, man. He's been solid. I'd imagine I would have said something along these lines when they faced off in Australia at the start of the season. I think Khachanov's just better and more trustworthy on the surface, no doubt. He's been to a semi-final year before in 2018, round of 16 in 2021. Well, that's what it's telling me anyway. There may be some missing. And Alex Michelsen, is this the first time he's played over in Toronto? I think it is. Yeah. Look, 13-8 on the surface for the American, 8-6 for Karen Khachanov. 27-16 for Khachanov, 25-18 for Alex Michelsen. Like we've just said, Khachanov really did start to make a lot of moves as we came over onto the grass. Seems to be in rather fine fettle as we've transitioned back to the hard court. He's a biggish favourite, 1.4, 1.5, it's not bad. It's an ideal parlay piece. It's nowhere near enough for me to take as a single. Absolutely not. I'd lean towards Khachanov getting this done. He just looks more solid out of the two. It's just that one game. I'm not going to read into it too much. I won't overthink it. The match in the Australian Open, like I said, Khachanov started the season like, I don't know. He was very slow. He was well off the boil, well behind it, looked miles off it. He's looked like one of the better players that we've got on the tour at the moment that we've seen since the grass campaign anyway. Taylor Fritz, not many have managed to find the form quite as efficient as Karen Khachanov has at the moment. So I would probably have to go with him in that. I would also probably lean towards yet another over. Just another little angle to approach that one on. I think Michelsen can serve well on the day. He's got solid enough service games. I feel like the spread's going to be around 2.5 with the price being like that. I fear that may not be enough for me. Then again, Khachanov, who's going to win this in straight sets? Is Khachanov more likely to do it? I don't know. I'm not going to overthink it. I keep looking back to the Australian Open results and going, if he's done him in 3 there, I imagine he could easily do him in 2. But as we've just mentioned, I can't help but feel like this is a completely different beast that you're dealing with come the summer with Karen Khachanov than what you were dealing with over in back in January anyway. So I'd side with Khachanov to get this one done. We could be in for a rather long one. Maybe lean towards an over. I'd lean towards Khachanov to get the win. I think that's going to do us, sad. Just the two for tonight. I'm about to go and watch Flavio Cavalli and Shelley. Hope that over comes in. It's about to start very, very soon. So wish me the best of luck on that. I'll be saying good night to you folks. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate you stopping by. As always, you all mean a lot to me. Like and subscribe before you go. And take it easy. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. It's the most important thing, innit? And I'll be seeing you around. Get in the comments. Let me know what you're going for. Get yourself involved. Don't be shy. Share with the group. And I'll see you in a bit. Enjoy the matches today. See you all tomorrow.